Hi. All right, so we are going to talk about how to make a photo your own for the Billboard project. And this really applies to any Photoshop image that you find on Google or you take yourself. All right, so I'm going to continue with my Skittles comp, and I'm going to show you how I get to one of these stages. And from class and from my last tutorial, I talked about how weird that Teletubby background was. So I'm going to use that background as an example, okay? I thought the Skittles backgrounds looked a little weird and reminiscent of the Teletubby set, and I don't know if you guys watched that when you were little, but it was really creepy and weird. You should watch it just once if you haven't already. All right, so I'm just going to take this and drag it right into my Photoshop document after I create it, okay? I'm going to jump back over to Photoshop, and please don't crash. Okay, so our artboard is 858 by 242, and I'm going to walk you through all that setup, okay? So I'm going to go New File. Right over here. I think by default yours might be at inches, but we are going to choose pixels for this assignment. Okay, 858, 242, make sure this is landscape, and this is 300, okay, 300 ppi. Don't worry about this stuff, but make sure this is RGB. Okay, create. So once you create this, you should have a long, skinny rectangle, just like this, okay? All right, oops, stop, go away. Let's zoom on in and take a look at this. All right, so I'm gonna go back to my Teletubby set in Chrome and drag and drop it right into my file, okay? Here we go, boop. All right, so as you can see, this set image is Gigantor. I'm just going to reduce this a whole bunch because it's huge. Oh, come on. Okay, and I'm going to put that over here. Scoot it over a little bit. I am using the transform tool to mess around with the size of my image. You're going to see my bounding box is selected. I just went in and I hit the free transform option. It's also Command T. That's going to let me enlarge, reduce, rotate. It's really handy. Okay, so that looks good. Going to hit return and voila. All right, so yeah, I have all this extra white space over here. So I'm going to use AI right down here to generate extra expansion for this image. It may not look good, but it gives us options, all right? So I'm going to select this area over here just to let Photoshop know that yes, this is the space we want you to do your magic in. All right, so you guys should have a little, oopsie, what the heck, little bar right here that's gonna ask you what you want to do, little toolbar. I'm gonna move this up here because it's bothering me. You guys can do the same thing, grab it right here, and I like to pin the bar up there out of my way. All right, so yes, I want AI to make a fill over here, all right? So I'm going to tell it what I want it to fill with. How about green hills, okay? We'll see what happens. Yeah, this is the generative layer. This is going to give us options, and hopefully one might look good. And then I'm going to go through and show you how to manipulate. Oh, no. Okay, So this is a super good example of how AI is a little sketchy sometimes. So I'm going to go in there and make sure this is completely selected. And I'm going to give it a different prompt. Green, hills, and sky. Please be good. Okay. Oh, yeah. Even though that's a little wonky, that's pretty close. Oh no. So, okay, we're going to go with this one. Yes, we like that one. So now we're going to go through and mess around with this seam, okay? But first, I'm going to flatten this because I'm going to be working on the whole thing, all right? So flatten. All right, so as you can see, yep, I'm going to go through here and unlock that layer so I can work on it. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to start messing around. Gosh, that looks... Yes.
Why isn't there now?
Okay, sorry, that was my boss. All right, so I'm going to show you guys about the clone stamp tool. This is my friend, okay? This is your friend too. All right, you see this gigantic brush size? We don't want it to be this gigantic. I'm going to come up here and manipulate the diameter of that size. All right, so I'm going to make it a little much smaller. When I drag my cursor over on top of my artwork, you'll see that my diameter has gone down a little bit. That's still too huge. All right, that's good. Okay, this is the hardness scale. I want this to be super soft and flowy, so I'm going to make this hardness go down to 0. All right, so I'm going to use my Option key on my keyboard. See how my cursor turns into a little target? This little target tells Photoshop, oh, this is the place where you want to clone the information. All right, so I'm going to show you up here in the blue sky. So I'm just going to make this little seam disappear. Okay, clicking over here and making it look kind of cool and like it's the same image. All right. Play around with the clone stamp tool, okay? And if I'm doing this too fast, rewatch this. Or who's your friend? Google and YouTube. Those are your friends. Okay, I'm your friend too, but you know. All right, so we've cleared up that seam down the middle, which is awesome. Now, because this Teletubby house is super noticeable, like everyone, well, who watched that show when they were little, knows that this might be a Teletubby hill or house. So I'm going to go through and delete those doors or like clone that area so it's not as noticeable, because making the photos your own will help you to avoid lawsuits in the future. I've never had a lawsuit, but this is what you got to do to make this your own. And I want you to make your imagery your own, all right? That is a part of this project. All right, so that looks much better. I'm going to open up a file that I was doing in class. I want to show you guys a little bit about how I kind of flesh this out with my different layers. There's a lot going on here, of course, but it's basically the same image that I just created for you guys really quickly. I added some really ugly flowers. Oh yeah, these are my daisies. Those are lovely. That gives a little bit more information to make this background my own. And then I also added falling Skittles, although they're really bitmapped, but I will go in once they're in this file and clean them up, right, with the eraser tool. All right, you guys, I hope that helps, and I'll talk to you soon.